Hey guys, I am Courtney Tomplay. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. If you don't mind, while you're here, hit that subscribe button and maybe even give me a like and comment and let me know if this video helped you. In the meantime, what we're going to discuss today is Limelife's Teen Collection. So if you've never heard about it, buckle up and get ready for the ride. So excited you're here. See you soon. Hi YouTube! I hope you guys are having a fabulous day wherever you are and whatever life is bringing to you. I am Courtney Tomplay and I am excited to come to you guys today to talk to you about the Teen Collection by Limelife by Outcome. So first you get a full-sized foundation palette. This comes with a full-size foundation, 2 full-size concealers, and it also comes with your choice of a pressed powder. So that could be a blush, a bronzer, or translucent powder. And then, not only that, you get to choose your own 2 eyeshadows. So I chose Sweet Dreams and Brownie Points. Not only that, you get to pick a full-size lip gloss. So let's go through all of the products, how we use them, and how you can use them, diversify them, and use them for different things. So you got 2 eyeshadows. Do those 2 eyeshadows just have to be used for eyeshadow? No. So let's talk about all the ways that we can use these. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start with my foundation palette. I chose Shinto Zero because that is my foundation shade. Then I chose Concealer 0 and Concealer 6. I use my Concealer 0 to highlight and my Concealer 6 to contour. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do that, eyebrows first. I am an eyebrows first girl and I absolutely have to have my eyebrows on before I can do anything else. So here's one of the tricks where you can use this collection as more than just what it's actually intended for. So like I showed you whenever I started, I got the Brownie Points eyeshadow. So in this case, I'm going to take my favorite setting spray and I am going to put a little bit in our cap. In this case, it's Limelife's Oil Strike Setting Spray. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my angled liner brush into the setting spray just to get my brush just a little wet. Whatever excess you have, you can wipe off onto your hand. And then I'm going to dip each side into it, sides and then the tip, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. So this is where the angled liner brush comes in handy because you can turn it sideways and you can get that fine line underneath to fill your eyebrows in, which is what we want to do. I like to keep the back darker than the front just because it shows a more natural looking brow. So I'll do it just like that, and then I'll take this brush and flatten it out and just brush the rest of the color throughout my brow so it's not too dark in the front and it's darker in the back. You can do this with your eyeshadow, you can do it with your bronzer, or you can invest in an eyebrow pencil. All the things work. Go ahead and dip it back in for the other side. Doing the same thing. In this instance, you might have to wet your brush again because it might be a little dry and might have soaked up a little bit of the product. So we want to make sure that we wet it again so the product goes evenly and you're not putting too much in one spot. So we have multiple different eyeshadows to choose from. We have several different shades of brown, so you can pick whatever shade you want unless you have your own eyebrow pencil. But this is one of the things that I do enjoy because you can use them for a bunch of different things and not just one set thing. So I'm just going to finish filling in my brows here. And then I'm going to take the spoolie side and I'm going to brush some of this color out, almost giving me a unibrow. But don't worry, we can always fix it with concealer. I just don't want them to be blunt. I want them to look like the colors all the way through, not that I just filled them in and this is my actual eyebrow color. So this is where we're going to come in with our concealer. So you have your concealer. We're going to use Concealer 0 in this case. I'm going to use a foundation brush. And I'm just going to take and wipe that away right there in the middle. And it covers the whole eye. And then I'm going to go back underneath my eye and just fill in my eye with concealer because, fun fact, not only is our concealer 50% pigmented, it's also got primer in it. So it's great to start with your eyeshadow. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move that color around, even it out with my finger, nothing serious. Evening it out, making sure that there's no brush strokes left in there and that the color is evenly distributed throughout my eye. Now this is where we're going to come in with our Sweet Dreams. It's a very soft, sweet pink color. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a brush out of my handy dandy brush bag here. So I'm going to take just a sweet little soft brush right here and just dip it in a little bit. And I'm going to go right here along my eyebrow line and just give myself a little bit of highlight right in there. Just a little bit of color just to make that brow pop right there. And then I'm going to come back in, excuse me, with my brownie points. And I'm just going to dab it on both sides of my eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to fill all the way in very easily. And I have my brush turned to the side so it's nice and thin, but you just want to fill it in. And you want to start with less, because if you use too much, your color might be too dark to start. So this is just a simple look with the teen collection and how to use it. So I didn't go in too dark, so then it comes out very, very light. And then that way we can come back in the corners in our crease, get it a little bit darker on your brush, and then go back in very softly and just fill in the corner to accent your crease and a little bit more of your eye. And you see how that contour changes the eye, so how much darker it is on one side than it is on the other. I have smaller hooded eyes, and so this is one of the things that helps me to accentuate my eye to make it look a little bit bigger. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side, very lightly tapping and brushing the eyeshadow into my eye, not making it too dark. So then that way we can add a little bit of color and give ourselves a little bit of dimension in our eye. So I'm just filling my lid right in here very, very softly. Okay, dipping it back in there to get more color in here, and I'm going to focus on the corner, and I kind of go in a V shape a little bit and just fill in the V, maybe giving yourself a little moon, however you want to describe it, just in that corner to give yourself a bunch of dimension. So now we have shaded eyes and we look great. Moving on. The next thing I want you to focus on is your foundation. My favorite tool to use with the foundation is our diffuser brush. This is brush number 17. So I'm just going to take this brush and swirl it into my foundation, because we want to make sure that we're heating the foundation up, okay? Because it's wax based. So if you think about it being wax based, then think about a candle. If you rub a candle, that's how it gets warm. So we want to warm up the foundation so it spreads easier on our face. But the one thing you want to make sure you do before your foundation on is moisturize. So I always moisturize with Limelife's 40 Cure Cream, which I didn't do so before I did this. So not only this, I'm going to moisturize with my moisturizer. It doesn't have to be Limelife's, whatever your favorite moisturizer is. Go ahead and spread that on your face all over, so that way all those dry, cracked places in your face don't show up. I like to focus on my nose and the bridge of my nose, because that is where I see the most dryness. Okay, now that I did that, these are items that do not come in the teen collection, so I didn't want to talk about them too much, but I also wanted to mention that these are things that I use to help me with my routine. So I'm going to go ahead and use my First Base Primer. This is always a great add-on, and the good thing about these is they come in 2 ounces and 4 ounces. That way you can decide, okay, I liked the 2 ounce, I'll go ahead and buy the 4 ounce. So then that way I don't have to worry about running out too soon. So trying the 2 ounce is a great way to get started using the foundation, and then you can decide if you like it or not. Now I'm going to go back in with brush number 17, my diffuser brush, and I really want you to focus on how much coverage we get with this foundation. Okay. I just moisturized and primed, so my foundation is going to go on much smoother than if it would if I just had a straight dry face. But look at my chin and how red it is. So we're just going to take this brush and just cover half of it, so that way you can see how good the coverage actually is. My face isn't all that red today, so I don't have to cover up too much. So we're just going to go in with a light layer of foundation. And one thing to remember when using our foundation is it's not like most foundations. It's a wax-based foundation. So not only is it a thicker foundation, but it goes on so smooth and so soft. But the coverage is there because it's got 50% pigmentation. If you're not sure what pigmentation is, all that means is there's more color than additives in the foundation, which is something that you really can't beat. because if we want to get our foundation on our face, we want to make sure that it covers the first time. That was only 3 swirls in my foundation palette that I just used for my whole face. Now I'm going to go in with my fan brush right here, and I'm going to use the bronzer that I chose. So this is bronzer number 1. It's got a shimmer to it. If you don't like a shimmer in your bronzer, you can always go with bronzer number 2. Bronzer number 2 is the same shade. It just doesn't have the shimmer in it. So I'm just going in all over my face. And what this is doing is giving my face dimension. If you don't use bronzer because you don't know how to use it or you're scared of it, don't be scared of it. Your bronzer is there to give you dimension in your face, but also give you color back that you didn't have before. We're highlighting all the natural areas on our face that would be shaded, and then we're going to go back in those other areas and highlight with our concealer. My best tip for the concealer is to always use a flat foundation brush. I like to apply it with the flat brush just to get it in all the spots that I need it on, and it's giving me a very, very thin layer while not overpowering my face, but giving me just the amount of highlight that I want. I always go in my T-zone, but I also come down here because when you put that line there, it brings your cheekbones up, and it also makes you look like your face is thinner than it really and truly may be. So you can just tell how much it draws my face up and how much weight it took off my face. So this is one of the reasons I like to do this trick and add it underneath here. I like to finish it with my brush number 18. This is our highlight and contour brush, and I just come right in here and swipe the product, making sure that it's not too thick underneath my eye so we don't end up with any caking under there. Spreading out the color, and on your forehead you want to make sure that you go up, so that way you're highlighting anything else and then you're also shading those areas to make it blend with the bronzer that you just added. And then we're going to roll this up so that way that is also softer and it's not this big long line right here. So we're going to roll this in first, and then we're going to roll that concealer into the bronzer that we just placed on our face. And what this is doing is giving you a more natural look and making it almost look like it's a natural beauty look without being too heavy. That's one of the things I love about our foundation is how much coverage it is for so little product. This is where the fun comes in. Not only did we use our eyeshadows for our eyes, but we also used them for our eyebrows. In this instance, I'm going to take Sweet Dreams and I'm going to use her as a highlight for my face. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more shimmer. So I'm using brush number 19. Just going to swirl it in there a little bit because it's got that shimmer to it. And I'm just going to brush that along my cheekbones, right on my nose, Cupid's bow, and right in between my eyebrows. You want to do that highlight in all those natural places that the sun hits. If you feel like you don't have enough, add some more. And with that, we're going to go ahead and almost finish our Teen Collection with a little bit of lip gloss. This gloss is called Grace. Now I'm going to go ahead with my mascara. Most people have mascaras, but if you do not and you're interested in one, Limelife has a great fiber mascara. It's a one-step fiber. It helps to thicken and elongate lashes, and it's smudge proof and water resistant. All right. Now that we just finished off with our mascara, we are finished. Simple, easy peasy. Don't have to start with a lot, but if you're wondering where you should start with Limelife, the Teen Collection is definitely something that you should look at. So we get a full foundation palette, so your foundation and 2 concealers. This is completely customizable, so whatever your foundation shade is and whatever 2 concealers you choose, contact your beauty guide to help you customize your palette. So a full-size foundation palette, which is worth $76. You get your 2 eyeshadows, which can also be doubled as an eyebrow color and a highlight, also 2 eyeshadows, or you can even supplement them and do other things. You can make one a lip color, you can make one a bronzer, you can make one a blush color as well. There's so many different things that you can do with just these 2 eyeshadows if you're thinking, I don't use eyeshadow. And then you also get to choose between a blush, a bronzer, and a powder. So I chose blush in this instance and used it all over, and I've got a very natural look. Last but not least, you get to choose your own gloss. If you're interested in one of these products or one of these collections, message your beauty guide and see if they can send you a digital catalog. That way you can get all the colors that they have, all the options, and if you're still not sure what to do, contact her and say, hey, I need some help customizing my teen collection. Can you help me? And I guarantee you she will be thrilled to help you. Welcome to Limelife, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.